Okay, welcome back. We are talking about aeration. Why do we need aeration? What is aeration? When's a good time to do the aeration? And basically what aeration is, it's using a machine that will create core plugs, is what they're called, where you poke a bunch of holes in your lawn and it allows air, water, different fertilizers, different nutrients to get to the deep roots. And that's kind of the bottom line of what is aeration all about. It's dealing with the deep root system of your lawn. So the reason that you do it is it deals with a compaction of the soil, or that's what it's loosening up all that compaction so that water can actually seep down to the deep roots. In theory, if you aerate more often, then you won't have to water as much, because then the water is going into the deeper root system, like I said, and then you don't have to water as often because it goes where it needs to go. If you don't, and it's really hard and compacted, the water can just kind of pool at the surface and then evaporate on a hot day. But the point of what we're going to talk about today and demonstrate today is just what does it look like? What does it look like after it's been done? And what kind of machine is required to do it. So obviously you can either rent a machine or you can have someone come and do it, and they'll bring a machine, or you'll rent a machine like this that has these tines on the bottom here, and those tines are what go in and create all the little plugs. So as they go in, they're going to go in and grab an actual sample of the soil and bring it out and leave lots of plugs all over the lawn. So I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about what this looks like here in just a second. But before you do it, or you have anybody else do it, you want to make sure that you flag all your sprinklers, any kind of drain lines that you may have, if you have any outdoor lighting lines or power lines or anything like that that could be under the ground. It's we're only going about 4 inches, but if it's deep, then it's okay. But if it's only something close to the surface like that, then you want to make sure that you mark it. So on this lawn, we've gone ahead and marked the sprinklers, and so we don't want to hit those with these tines or damage those sprinklers. But go ahead and mark all those, and then it's time to use the machine. Okay, so now that you've seen what the machine kind of does, this is the kind of plug that it's going to pull up. So depending on the kind of machine that you're using, there's different weight systems that'll actually drive those down into the ground, but this is what it actually is doing. It's pulling up this plug. Like I said, it's going about 3.5, 4 inches down, and I'm not sure how wide it is. Just over a ½ inch maybe, and then it's maybe 3/4 inch in diameter. So it's a pretty good sized core that comes out. What you're left with is all of these open holes. So those open holes are what allow the water to go seep into the deep root system. Now, when is a good time to do this? A good time to do this is early spring. So you could do it anytime during the spring or fall. Depending on where your climate is, you can even do it in the summer if it gets really compacted. Sometimes it's a good idea to open it back up even in the middle of the summer. So we have a lot of customers that actually have it done 3 times a year if they have a lot of clay in their soil and things like that, where you can see this one's really dense. This is more of a clay that we have in this soil. So when it's more clay based, it gets a little bit more dense. But like I said, you could do it pretty much anytime during the growing season, but typically people do it in either the spring or in the fall. Now, after it's done, this is a great time to throw some fertilizer down, because it'll find its way down into the holes and really strengthen those deep roots, promote that deep root growth that you want. This is also a great time if you wanted to do any kind of overseeding or any kind of seeding at all, You open it up like this, and then the seed will find its way down into those holes as well. So that's, in a nutshell, that's basically all that aeration is. But it really does promote a healthier lawn, and it's a good idea to do it at least once a year. And then just depending on the kind of soil that you have, you could do it a couple times a year.